so we got to start with something. It's a warning. I have no idea what I'm going to say. Because I have overworked this speech for years. Everything that I'm thankful for, everything I'm grateful for. General Matlock, thank you for your presence, your kind words. Because I know, like you, that there's a lot of people in this room who just coming to this ceremony is a huge commitment of time and effort. I mean, there's people who came from California on the red eye, right? There's people who came from Minnesota, right? There's people who came from Pennsylvania. There's even people who came from the third corridor. I say that because I know how hard the work is that's going on right now and what it means to be here with me. And I thank you for that. The other thing that I'm grateful for is to be able to do it in this room, right? This is the Pentagon's Hall of Heroes. This is the place where the Pentagon lays out to honor those who have received the Medal of Honor. And if you bear with me, I just want to share a remembrance of one of them because it's a fascinating story. It's a Private Henry Frizzle Frazzle. That's what got me, right? Like, they have him listed up there as Frizzle Frazzle. I'm like, who is this guy? So I looked him up. Civil War guy out of Missouri, joins the Union Army, gets measles. Right, that's first thing you get in the Army is measles. Spends 2 months in the hospital, and then he ends up in the Battle of Chattanooga. And at the Battle of Chattanooga, there is this moment where there's a fort that has to be charged. And so what they do is they gather together 100 unmarried men. The forlorn hope is what they called these guys, because there was no expectation that these people were going to survive that conflict. And in fact, 85% of the people from the forlorn hope, where Private Frizzle was a part, 85% were casualties. He took a bullet in the face, broke this bone, never saw correctly out of his right eye. And you would think, that's what I got the Medal of Honor for, you would think that, well, that's it, that's the end of his military career. No, he gets picked up by some Confederates. They put him in a hospital, they trade him back in a prisoner swap. Sure, he's going home, right? Nope, he re-enlists. He re-enlists for another year. He is serving with General Sherman when he gets shot in the left knee, right? Surely he's going to quit, right? He didn't get a Medal of Honor for that. He re-enlists again. Then, as they continue to march to the sea, he gets captured. He becomes a prisoner of war again. And he escapes. And only then does he go home, right? That's the kind of courage, that's the kind of heroism that surrounds us at this moment and makes, I don't know, my personal contribution seem small, right? But at the same time, it reflects what we all experience here. We're all on a journey as we move through the military. We all have to go through these experiences, and it is it's surprising to me. It always strikes me as interesting that the Army song is the Army keeps rolling along. That's exactly what's happening all the time. Right? The Army is rolling along. And I start that way because I want to thank my mother, because I know, like, when I just remember playing with BB guns in the cornfield and the National Guard, Pennsylvania National Guard, they're rolling by in Cuck V's and deuce and a halves, right? Like, there was no idea that I was going to end up in the military, right? I think there was something of a startled experience in my family's house when I came home and I said, hey, I'm going to join ROTC, and by the way, I'm going to go to airborne school, because I did that summer, right? And that's that moment when you have to give what so many mothers give the nation, right? The trust and the confidence that the leaders, that we will do the right things with these young men and women who join, right? And the kind of support that throughout my whole experience, it's so many times. And that keeps going along. You keep going through those experiences. Like My wife, I don't know if you guys know this, I've never figured out how to tell this story right.
Oh, no.
I was in the individual ready reserve, and I decided I was going to join the TPU force, okay? I got orders. Those orders were cut on the 10th of September. Literally, the orders bringing me into the regular reserve. I was holding them the day we were watching the news reports. It was a seminal moment in my life, right? And there was another moment where the Army said, hey, it's time for you to go. Enough of that TPU stuff. We need you full time, right? And this is the place where my wife, we had one of these experiences that was so pivotal. I go down, literally, this is how it worked out. I was told on Thursday that on Monday I had to report 5 days. I had a drill weekend in there, in between too. So I leave work, I go to where my wife works. She goes, I say, listen, we got something serious to talk about. We go over to an Applebee's. She orders one of those giant margaritas. She drinks the whole thing. She slams it down and she says, when do we leave? Right? Because that's the kind of service, and support, and stability that you've given me for years, and all kinds of hardships. I mean, that's kind of a cute one, but my, you guys know how many instances there's a string. And then I've got 2 of my sons here today, and I got a little story about each of them that kind of encapsulates what their experience on this journey as the Army dragged them along, what it was like. I'm going to do Alex's story first, right? So Alex was entering his junior year of high school. Right? I got orders to go to the War College. And you would expect a lot of high school juniors to be like, I would like to stay, right? But what he did, and this impresses me to no end, what he did was he said, I would like to come with you. Now, War College, this means he's going to have to go to a new high school in his junior year, and he's going to have to go to a new high school in his senior year. He says, I want to have that experience, because that's the experience of the military child, and I want to be genuine in that. I think there's some, maybe I'm biased, right? But I think there's some heroism. And it suggests to me that there's heroism in your families, just like that might not get recognized, but I want to recognize that right now. Alex, you're impressive. There's another story about these guys. I don't have time for it. But check this one out. This one's about Steve. Actually, it's kind of about Sarah. Sarah is my daughter-in-law. She's an airman in the Air Force. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, actually, it's key. I know. Right? So she went to Air Force Basic, or whatever they call it, and then she went to tech school, right? And so Steve is home. He's got the baby. This is what he says. He says, I'm going to move to Texas. I'm going to rent an apartment so that I can be close to my wife, so that when she has time off, we can have our family together, right? Now, I think that takes a lot of courage. I think that takes a lot of commitment. I also think that it says something about my wife, who instilled that commitment. As we've gone through this journey, all of you have done wonderful and impressive things. Now, there is one person I want to say something about my brother. I'm going to screw this up. And I'm not really saying it to you, you just listen. I'm really saying it to Mr. Shrimpton, right? Actually, I'm saying it to anybody who has heard the Army with this talking. Only 25%, only 32%, only 18% of America's youth are qualified for military service. We like to say that. But I want you to think about something. My brother, I don't know exactly what his title is. It's like Chief Executive Dragon Slayer and Mudslinger, right? He works for a huge company that manages corporate assets around the world, JLL, right? Was in the running for the CEO of the Americas. Not just North America, the Americas. He's on 6 boards, 2 universities, 2 fine arts, something like that, right? Oh, and he runs marathons. I'd put him in a sand pit and he'd win, right? With anybody. I say that story because I think about this a lot. Way, way, way back in 1990 something, he was trying to join ROTC. The Army said, you're part of that large pool of people who are not qualified to be part of this. I think we made a terrible decision. I think that you could easily be one of us. Actually, I think you could be one of those. But all right. So, I know that there's a lot of folks who are listening to me and you're kind of like, okay, old guy, time to wrap it up, right? And I want you to know that I don't take offense, right? We have some fabulous people who are coming, who like as the Army goes rolling along and I step out of formation and I go sit on the porch, we have some fabulous people who are coming along. And I have had the honor, it's really neat because I can look at the Conrad Jacobau, who is just, he's tenacious and unbelievable. The work that Chike, the stuff that you're doing, it is amazing. Brilliant young men coming in. Alex Klein is here. The Army is going to be awesome because the Army has you. And so, because I didn't really know what I was going to say, I don't know how to wrap this up. Here's a good one. I'm going to miss you guys, right? I'm glad I didn't cry, but I am going to miss you in a deep and emotional way. And I'm sincere that my goal is to improve the lives of the people who work here. I don't know exactly how, but I'm trying to figure that out.